he says would violate his freedom of speech.
Free speech.
Freedom of speech.
The reason I'm defending freedom of speech.
Free speech.
Free speech.
It's the most basic and fundamental tenets.
One of the building blocks of the American way of life.
Think that there is any line to free speech, where it would fall, or if you think it doesn't exist at all.
Because that's how people with different opinions settle their opinions in a civil society.
The freedom to say whatever you want.
So tonight, here is my plan. I'm going to say a bunch of things that I think are simply facts, and then I'm going to state some conservative opinions, and we'll see if I get arrested.
The First Amendment, arguably one of those most empowering pieces in the Bill of Rights, gave the people the right to exercise their religion of choice, gave them also the right to freedom of press, freedom to petition, freedom to assemble, and freedom of speech. Today, we will be covering the importance of freedom of speech, which was established in December 15, 1791.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
I think that freedom of speech is the ability of one person to express their opinions on a variety of subjects without that fear of retribution from the federal government. No one's going to drive up in a black van, scoop me up, and my family will never see me again. Now, we can laugh about that, but that actually happens in other countries in today's day and age. It means that I can stand on the corner and make claims, even in some cases unsubstantiated claims against my government, without fear of being arrested or being fined or any of those sort of things.
Freedom of speech has been one of the largest contributing factors to the development of our nation, and it kind of stems from the fact that it's so unique to our country, and it's kind of how we criticize the government, criticize all the things that it does to make laws. It just helps develop it and helps them take in constructive criticism or flat out really inappropriate criticism, or anything of the sort. In general, freedom of speech kind of just signifies how Americans are really open, how they're really outgoing, how they just express themselves, and we should be really grateful to have something like that, because in other nations it's kind of very limited.
But thank you, all young men of the pathways to freedom. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Let's start off by speaking about how communist nations treat free speech. When you think about our country, we treat free speech kind of with open arms, and we kind of let it run out and just let the people say what they want, express what they want.
The countries, obviously, that have very limited freedom of speech would be China, North Korea, Vietnam, the communist nations of the world, Cuba, right? And if you talk to the people there about their freedom of speech or lack thereof, they very much, I'm sure, would probably be in favor of unlimited freedom of speech.
He walks stiffly into the room, head bowed, flanked by his North Korean guards. Then, 21-year-old American Otto Frederick Warmbier, a student at the University of Virginia, appears to break down.
I entirely beg you, people of government of the DPR Korea, for your forgiveness. Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Warmbier reads a statement saying he committed a crime in the eyes of North Korea, taking down a pro-regime political banner from the staff area of a hotel.
Well, it's really interesting. Those countries will pick to limit their speeches because they think they're protecting their people to some capacity. They don't want to necessarily have information out there that's going to incite violence or have people start doubting some of the positions that the governments are taking. That would never work in the United States because we've already opened that can of worms, and we are inherently suspicious of our government structure. We have been since the very beginning. So that's not anything that anyone in America would ever tolerate. We've seen the current administration throw out terms like fake news to the media and things of that nature, but that doesn't necessarily help our government in the long run. We want a good relationship between the media watchdogs and our government. We should hold our governments accountable, and at the same time, we should never cast doubt on the people in power doing what's best for America as a whole.
In modern times, the media and government have created a slippery slope out of the First Amendment, known as hate speech. Hate speech is a term that is usually defined as speech that attacks a person or group based on attributes such as race, religion, ethnic origin, sex, disabilities, sexual orientation, or gender identity. One of the contemporary issues that America faces is whether or not hate speech is something that should be limited in the United States.
I think those universities are being left less effective because students feel that they either can't speak out, or they're worried about triggering someone, or they're worried about their own feelings. They don't want to offend. And that inhibits this kind of robust, ugly, messy, big debate that colleges and universities exist to provide. And, you know, we can talk about University of Michigan. There are plenty of examples where I think this has not only been prevalent, these attitudes are prevalent, but they've been institutionalized. They've been made part of the universities themselves. And I think that's a dangerous trend, and I